Well, besides the dual lane going into the jungle, though, we saw Raven versus the Thor in game number 1. What are we going to see in game number 2? Let's go in picks and bans.
Yeah, and like we said, and we mentioned all the way throughout, Susanoo is going to be the big one for it. Stony Brook, once again, going to be targeting out that Fafnir, taking it away from Dingodile.
And with the first pick for Stony Brook this time around, Tarrant County opted to go for this Chaos side, wanting to maybe get a solo lane counter matchup potentially.
Yeah, and as we can see, the Susanoo going to be the first one taken off the board for Tarrant County. They don't want to give that one away to Sam. And I know Sam, that's what he probably wanted to go with, but there is still a lot of jungle options available for him.
Probably, with all these jungle bans before the Susanoo, that's a one aggressive early god, but Stony Brook probably will look for the Thor yet again because of how well he did the first game. Do you expect Tarrant County to use their second ban on this Thor?
I think their best bet is to really take away that Sylvanas. Mort applied way too much pressure early on into the game for his team and throughout all stages, but instead, Stony Brook's going to take it away from themselves and away from Dingodile.
It seems that maybe they're looking for an early Guardian pick for Stony Brook, trying to focus Dingodile. And by focusing out Dingodile, you're also by proxy focusing out DayToRemeber.
Yeah, I mean, just going to have to see what picks and bans elect to come out there here, as we're still waiting for Tarrant County to take their second ban off the table. But they're going to go ahead and take the Kraken away, making sure that Giggle cannot get this in his hand.
A great god to ban away. We saw it banned away by Stony Brook as they were the Chaos side the last game. And that's one of these gods that you shouldn't really allow in this early stages. If you're going to give a Kraken, you need to get something really heavy in return.
Yeah, and with the Kraken taken off the board, I mean, this has been the god that Giggle has really performed on the most, so I love them taking it away, and instead, they're going to elect to go into the Hoon bots, take this one away from pucmm, but more importantly, put it in the hands of Sam.
Switching up the style for Sanford Soccer, going for that global pressure ultimate on the Thor the first game to now a lot of jungle control with the Fear No Evil on the Hun Batz, and to be able to switch it up between games 1 and 2 shows a little bit of diversity for the god pool out of the jungler.
And they're going to go ahead and get Cardiac his Zeus. Not quite the Vulcan that I love seeing from him, but a very strong mid lane this time. And now it's kind of another problem is Chang'e is not a high pressure mid lane. You really have to be safe with this Chang'e. She's much better off in the jungle. They wasn't able to do anything last game, but now they're going to go ahead and take the Zeus not only away from SirBomberMan, but just put it into their hands. A
lot of pressure going to be applied and a lot of safety to boot. The Khepri for Dingodile.
Going to get that strong backline Guardian for them. Make sure that if anybody does fall into danger, they're going to have that revive available for them to see if they can hold the fight a little bit longer and kind of force them to dissuade from it, because we see a lot of times when Khepri pops that revive, people just kind of stop hitting them. Once the revive is on, they're like, all right, guys, just leave them alone. But you can see in the mid lane, Ra picked up.
I like this idea to have the Ra. You don't really want to get too close to the action against the Zeus Lightning Storm. So what other better long-range god than the Ra? You can use your 1-4 combo to easily set up if there's going to be a god running against the wall from that Fear No Evil.
They're going to have some strong setup for him as well with that Fear No Evil. Is really going to set up the big snipes from the Ra. And as we can see, Ram elected to be picked up for MandoWarrior, another god that we've really seen a lot of from him.
It's going to be interesting to see this late game style from the Ram, which is why we saw Stony Brook actually ban it away the last time around. MandoWarrior going for the Cupid the last game. And this time around the Ram, so the late game is definitely here for Stony Brook.
Yeah, they're looking to play it a little bit safer this time around. However, Hoon bots at level 5, that's when you want to get that pressure. It's just like a Thor, but you don't quite have the global presence. And this time, puckm's going to elect to go into an assassin, but not the one that we kind of expected.
No, definitely not, but I like the idea and thought process behind it anyway, because Awilix can obviously pull away the Hun Batz, making it more difficult to engage as a Hun Batz, because you're not necessarily looking for the jump to engage. You know, you use the monkey bounce to engage or a blink, but then you're definitely looking for the jump out, and Awilix is not going to make that easy.
No, it's really going to make it really difficult for Sam to get away, but he has played against this Awilix a lot. This is a guy that he's very familiar with as Awilix, so he knows not only how to play it, but how to play against it.
Terra going to get banned away from Tarrant County as we head into the second stages of the picks and bans. Tarrant County is going to have the next pick along with the last one.
Right now, with the mid, jungle, and support locked in, Stony is going to elect to take a shot at Osath. His Vamana has been probably the staple god that I have seen on this player. He does not die on this Vamana. In the 4 games of the championships he played, he had 1 death on this god.
Oh man, Vamana, definitely one of these safe gods, because even if you have a losing matchup, you just throw out the Umbrella Ring on the tower line, you're able to clear out the archers rather effectively. You know, once you hit that level 6-7 marker with the Bluestone Pendant, able to safely clear the lane, and Tarrant County banning out the Athena.
They're looking to take as many shots at Mort as they can, but Mort does have a kind of a pocket pick that not too many players are experimenting with, but that we've seen very capable of, and that is the Kuzenbo is still available, and I would not put it behind him to pick that god up.
That would be a very interesting option to try to take the Kuzenbo, as FDOT likes to call it, and that's going to have a lot of disruption as well, making it very difficult for Khepri to find the target that he wants to revive. So as long as you're doing work in the backline, making Zeus difficult job to do damage, Khepri is going to get disrupted and blowed out.
Yeah, and with the Medusa banned away by Stony Brook, that's going to leave the next option available. DayToRemeber's got to go to this Hui.
The Medusa being banned away, not too many Hunter options. Hui is available. You know, we haven't seen too much Apollo these days. The global pressure could allow him to be able to sit in that lane for as long as possible and then make the rotation. But either way, just like that, wanting to go for the boxing fight instead.
I mean, DayToRemeber's Hui is one of my favorite gods to watch. All the way back in the first season of AVGL, when he played during the championships, he played Apollo and he played Hui. His Apollo games were what Apollo does. He sits and waits till late game, split pushes, does what he wants. But his Hui, this is when we're going to start seeing some aggressive out of this guy.
Especially considering how aggressive he was with the Medusa the last game. If he can find the right angles, he's going to do a lot of damage with those ricochets off the wall. Still waiting for Stony Brook to lock in their last 2 picks. Still needs a Guardian here. And there's the Kuzenbo.
Kuzenbo picked up Mort, going to be showing what the king of the Kappas can do for his team. Going to get those strong pushes. And Bellona going to be the locked-in solo lane for Giggle.
A lot of frontline pressure here between this Kuzenbo and the Bellona. The Scourge is going to be so obnoxious against the Awilix I'm looking at specifically, even though it's intended against Hunters, because the in-hands set up the feather step for Awilix.
Yeah, I mean, it's all dependent on the chain of the feather step. A lot of people don't know that. If you hit the second auto of it, it's still going to do that AoE. You don't have to hit it, and whenever you can just completely stop the auto attacks, there's no damage that comes from it, and there's no way to immune any damage that's possible coming our way.
No wind-up opportunities here for Tarrant County on puckms Awilix, but last pick option for Tarrant County. They still need a soul laner. It's going to be the Nike.
Wow, I was not expecting to see a Nike come out of Osath. Not only that, just a Nike in general. It's not really been a favorable solo lane god in the AVGL. We've seen some players like Ajax pick it up into the jungle role, but haven't really seen much success.
Well, Nike is going to be able to set up puckum with some easy pull potentially if he can hit it. But the question is, how is this soul lane matchup going to pan out? Giggle versus Osath, Nike versus Bellona. Very interesting matchup indeed.
Yeah, we're going to see how Mort does on this Kuzenbo. We've seen it a couple times in the AVGL where he's just kind of picked up, but he really hasn't done anything in the early stages. Not till he hits that level 9-10 that Kuzenbo, especially on Mort, really starts coming to fruition.
Brought SirBomberMan for Stony Brook, laughing around as he sees Dingodile and Cardiac down the lane. Looking like it's going to be a 2-1-2 meta as MandoWarrior and Mort trying to look for an invade.
I mean, so it's going to be what we normally would see beforehand. However, in the puckum, going to be aggressing on a MandoWarrior. Is going to force out the shell very early on from Stony Brook, and they're just going to have to retreat.
That is a lot of damage coming on. Normally you see a lot of meditations from supports, but we're very worried about some of the damage that the Hui can provide, electing to go for the shell instead. And just like that, puckum staying in the dual lane is really trying to focus out MandoWarrior to allow DayToRemeber a little bit of an early advantage.
Puckham's got to be careful because he does have that bluestone pennant. With that feather step hitting those targets, it left the proc onto there, so the archers were still aggroing him.
Doing a lot of damage though regardless, having 3 archers to their disposal. DayToRemeber still in the lane. He wants to try to get more pressure, to get more damage on this next important wave as the gladiator minions start to approach.
Puckum is still sitting in the back at this purple buff. Whether he's going to elect to drop it, he will indeed, and pick it up for himself, knowing that he's not going to be able to get his speed buff. And now they're going to like to make a rotation in here. They're going to clear out the wave, and they're just going to end up passing by each other. Puckum is selecting not to go into that lane.
Fortunately for Stony Brook, they're going to be not finding their own purple buff, but instead looking for the oracles. But Cardiac and Dingodile right around the corner has to deter away. Mortbklyn could get abducted, but Cardiac instead looking for the more guaranteed farm of those oracles.
I mean, that's a duo you don't want to fight into is Zeus, Khepri. There's really just no way of approaching that in the early stages of the game, especially when he has that shield and the chain lightning available, and level 3 that's going to give him the detonate, and that's some damage that you just can't walk into.
So Tarrant County are doing an interesting idea by invading the purple buff earlier on by puckum, but as a result, you know, losing your own speed buff as a jungle Awilix, not only are you losing your own buff on that side, you're also losing the blue buff for Osath, and that's a god that you don't necessarily want to lose the buffs. Having to use the Rend constantly is very mana intensive, and without that mana chalice or a blue buff, Osath on the Nike might have to back prematurely.
Yes, we can see Giggle's getting that early aggression thanks to the Bludgeon's cleave auto attacks, able to clear out that wave just fine. And Osath does have natural one into his kit. He does have those natural cleaves, but he's going to like to jump away from that Bludgeon. Right now, Osath looking a little shaky in this solo lane.
If you're going to be left alone by your jungler, that's basically what's to be expected out of your solo laner, especially going for Mark of the Vanguard to start things off, recognizing that he's not going to be able to even hit the minions with those AoE in-hands to proc those multiple Death's Toll procs.
I mean, the good thing about both these solo laners is they have no way to interrupt their damage. Their wave clear can't be stopped either way. There's no knock up, there's no stun, there's no mez or anything like that to stop their form of wave clear here. So it's just gotta kind of be free farming in this solo lane.
I mean, you could try to knock up Giggle's Bludgeon with the jump from the Nike, but the timing of it is just so long that it's very easy to avoid for Giggle, especially if you're able to juke it out. So either way, even if you stop the Bludgeon, you're still gonna have those AoE in-hands on the hammer, and both the Nike and the Bellona hitting level 5.
But in the mid lane, Sam gonna look to try and get some aggression early on and force out both sets of beads on the mid lane and the jungler for Tarrant County.
150 seconds remaining on those 2 important purification beads, and SirBomberMan's combination with the Fear No Evil could be the deciding factor for the next attempt onto Stony Brook.
Sam gonna get rooted out, hit with the Rising Dawn, but the pluck from Dingodile is not gonna connect. Sam's gonna like to return a little bit of damage, and so far this early game still favoring Stony Brook just slightly. They did waste the Hoonbot's ultimate, but like we said, they got 2 big relics offline.
Tarrant County pinged out their own speed buff, recognizing that it's about to respawn. SamForSoccer finishing up that Fire Giant Elemental with Giggle right alongside him. SirBomberMan trailing behind, really wanting to get that mid-mage drop before starting this up.
You see Sam's already started up. The root's going to come out in the Rising Dawn. The Lightning Storm is dropped just to secure their own speed buff. So pucmm going to be able to get that speed, but they expend a big team fight ultimate for it.
And not even having to use the beads is SamForSoccer. Taking a lot of damage, though, is Giggle.
Going to use that Roman Invicta to get away, but Osath's chasing down, and the Sentinel of Zeus, not enough damage. Giggle's just barely going to get out.
I love the attempt here, but Bellona still having the teleport available to get back into the lane. The amount of pressure being applied into the mid is going to allow a little bit of a rotation along this Gold Fury side.
Yeah. Suns have been dropped down into the duo lane, but that's just to clear the wave so DayToRemeber can go back to base and get his items online. He does have option to go into his boots now, as he should have enough gold for that one. He's going to go into the Warrior Tabby, but the Oracle is going to be started up and taken by Stony.
I'm surprised that Stony Brook don't go for the Gold Fury, because the fact that Cardiac just expended his Lightning Storm, DayToRemeber used the Suns, and those are 2 huge ultimates not available. SamForSoccer's Fear No Evil has come back online. This could be a good opportunity for at least an attempt on that gold.
And not just the Suns being down, the fact that Day even backed, but hold that thought, Mando getting aggressed on, not going to be able to hit that Moonlit charge from pucmm. Going to drop the ultimate very early to get that extra damage on his hand, and he's going to be taken down. First blood going over to Tarrant County.
Unfortunately, just not having the mobility, going for the Devil Gloves early on, not having any sort of movement speed available, allows DayToRemeber to easily catch up with that stun after pucmm finds the slight root.
I mean, normally you wouldn't see an Awilix pop that ultimate without getting the knockup, but pucmm very wisely getting that extra damage that comes from the ultimate online, the extra attack speed from it, just going to be able to burst down, and then the ricochet from DayToRemeber to finish it off.
And having the speed before the Awilix jungler out of Tarrant County makes it very easy to catch up to this Rama that doesn't have any sort of mobility, but having the Devil Gloves now is going to allow him to start stacking that up, getting more physical power, more lifesteal.
Yeah, he's really going to look for that late game boxing potential with the Devo gloves. That's kind of what you see on the ROMs, is they just kind of want to wait. They want to sit back. They want to farm up. They want to get those critical items online.
But DayToRemeber is not going to make that easy. Jumping onto MandoWarrior, finding a stun. The beats are down for this ROM, having to go into the sky just to buy a little bit of time.
It's not going to be enough just yet. He's still going to have to chase down. DayToRemeber should have that Ricochet coming up any second. Mando's doing what he can to try and box off on the side, but the Ricochet and one more in hand is going to finish it. DayToRemeber picks up the 2nd kill for his team.
Taking advantage of lack of mobility. pucmm, though, taking a lot of damage, getting jumped on. Nice meditation from Dingodile, saving the life, but the snipe connecting onto Cardiac, not onto pucmm. Gonna allow a little bit of a reset. Tarrant County getting poked out, whereas Stony Brook can easily utilize that raw sustain to continue the action.
It looks like we've kind of flipped roles here. Tarrant County's looking to be the aggressors instead of the farmers this time, and it's really coming off of DayToRemeber with this Ho Yi. This is a god that I absolutely love watching him play just for the way that he plays it. Normally he's that farm for 15 minutes and then come into the action, but this time he's looking to kill in the first 15 minutes.
It's a good start for Tarrant County, but it's not at the same rate that Stony Brook was doing the last game because there was a lot of follow-up. Giggle, though, trying to buy some time as pucmm is right around the corner.
Yeah, he's going to be able to get that feather step online, but Giggle does still opt for the ultimate. Going to be pulled back by the gravity surge. Giggle, unfortunately, jumps the wrong way, and the tower shot going to help finish him off. pucmm going to help, but Sam, or not Sam, SirBomberMan is going to be able to trade out a kill in the mid.
Great beam coming out of SirBomberMan, finding the kill onto Cardiac, and with the rotation from Tarrant County on the right-hand side, rotating around the left, looking for potential buff invades, could look for the Gold Fury too.
I mean, look at the level difference already in this duo lane. MandoWarrior and DayToRemeber, a 2-level difference in these hunters, and 2 levels on a Hou-Yi is way more impactful than 2 levels on a Ram, especially this early on.
DayToRemeber recognizing this, continuing that early aggression onto the late game Ram, not allowing MandoWarrior to truly breathe some fresh air.
Oh, gonna steal away that purple buff, and that's really gotta hurt.
Absolutely. You're looking for any sort of gold or experience that you can for MandoWarrior, not to mention the stacks for his Devil Gloves. And DayToRemeber trying to finish off that Transcendence to kind of match the stacking prowess of MandoWarrior just to get more damage, more physical power to allow his Ricochet and Stuns to hit a little harder, not to mention the huge burst of mana and MP5 that you get from that item.
Yeah. And one thing that I mentioned with Mortbklyn early on, we haven't really seen anything from this Kuzenbo just yet. Like I said, the first 9 to 10 levels of Kuzenbo, especially on Mort, kind of doesn't really do too much, so we really need to see him come online and do something for his team.
Mort's probably going to be looking for more of the people out of position to try to push them into the danger zone, but not really finding that opportunity quite yet for this Kuzenbo support, instead allowing a lot of pressure from the side of Tarrant County and leaning a lot on the dual lane specifically. DayToRemeber getting off to a fantastic start.
Yeah, and he has that Transcendence online. That's his first big power spike, getting that stacking item on so he can get that extra boxing potential. Not going to have the lifesteal just yet, but I mean, when you can kill them with a triple bounce of Ricochet, who needs lifesteal?
I agree with you there completely, J-Mac, but MandoWarrior still trying to find his footing. Does have Warrior Tag be complete now, so he won't be getting run down as often as he was earlier on, but DayToRemeber still lingering around the corner, looking for any sort of poke, especially with that red buff.
Gonna catch him on the roll, drop down the Suns as well, land down onto him. Mando on the outside of the Suns, forced to go up to the air, 1, 2, third snipe's not gonna hit, and DayToRemeber just gonna look to try and box him down. 2 more autos, and the Ricochet just gonna be able to get him.
The max range Ricochet, DayToRemeber finding that solo kill with the red buff, level 12 now, being able to jump away in the meanwhile, trying to find the push. Mortbklyn can't really find any sort of setup on this Kuzenbo.
But downside of the Kuzenbo, he's got no way of getting behind the player. He has to use that dash to get to them. And with the Widery Grave, I mean, it's not going to do anything for him, so DayToRemeber able to just get away from that one.
Which is why some Kuzenbo players will elect to go for a blink every now and then. But as a Guardian, if you go blink that early, you're sacrificing either Meditation or Shell, and that's going to heavily affect your team fights.
You can see the Portal Demon already started up by Tarrant County, but with the face of Sam and SirBomberMan showing there, they're going to go ahead and walk away from that one. And very wisely, that's a lot of early pressure and early damage just from those 2 gods alone.
A lot of damage in general from the side of Tarrant County. Looking like DayToRemeber is on the top of it with his net worth at the highest, and it's definitely panned out with pucmm going into the dual lane early on at level 1.
And with no Gold Furies taken just yet, it's really just been farming and a few kills. You can see there's already about a 1,200 gold deficit. Tarrant County looking a little bit better, but as you said, it's not quite the lead that we saw last time. Especially
at the 11-minute mark. Stony Brook at this point already secured their first Gold Fury. Didn't allow any speed buffs for pucmm to be taken for free, and Sanford Soccer was just all over the map doing whatever he truly wanted on the Thor, but this time on the Hun Batz hasn't had the same amount of success as he wasn't able to secure himself that early first blood like the last game.
The fights are really going to start coming down when these solo laners start rotating into it, and as you can see, Giggle's already going to be the first one into these big team fights. They're looking to see who they want to go on to. Purple buff is going to be invaded on. Sam making the rotation in, but all 4 members of Tarrant County looking to run away already.
And on the top side, Giggle has made the rotation, right? Trailing behind him is going to be Osath. This is the point where the Soul Eaters hitting level 12, looking for their second relics, and with Breastplate of Valor completed, really wanting to make their impact felt before the Gold Fury has started.
Level 12s on both of them. As you can see, the meditation was picked up for Osath. hasn't backed yet is Giggle, and we're going to have to see what he elects to go into. He may look to go towards a meditation himself, get a little bit of sustain for his team, as we can see the double meditation on Tarrant County.
Something we don't normally see very often is when a hunter just out-levels the soul laner. It was actually DayToRemeber that hit level 13 before Osath. Having that second relic with the Aegis is going to allow him to stay in these team fights a little bit longer than MandoWarrior.
And you can see that he's just zoning him out of his wave. Mort trying to make a rotation over to see if he can help. Nene Cap has been thrown, but there's no real chase down potential for Mortbklyn, so it's just going to allow Mando to get a little bit of farm.
And not only that, just to help him get this farm gold-wise is going to hurt the Ram experience-wise whenever you share a wave with your Guardian player, and that's going to hurt him in terms of getting level 12, getting that important second relic.
And they haven't really been able to do anything to Cardiac here, as Sam is looking to make the rotation over, sitting over in these mid camps, but hasn't liked to do anything just yet, and pucmm trying to see if he can continue to shut down this duo lane.
And he's been doing a great job thus far. You know, 3-level advantage for this Hu-Yi hunter out of Tarrant County. And this is the kind of Tarrant County we're expecting of.
Yeah, this is what we've been seeing from Tarrant County. More than anything, this is what we've been seeing from DayToRemeber. He's playing this early game phenomenal. Normally, we said he's the 15-minute farmer, but this time he's the 15-minute aggressor.
A lot of damage from that one feather step onto the soul laner. Giggle's here on the left-hand side. Teleport not even being used. He's just basically walking on over. Still hasn't back for his second relic either.
Oh, mid lane, Sam taking a lot of poke. Forced to use that Fear No Evil just to get them off. The Storm Call was dropped down, but just going to be a dissuade.
Trading ultimate for ultimate, and that's not that bad for Sanford Soccer getting out that Lightning Storm, but doing that much damage onto Sanford Soccer. Tarrant County feeling very confident starting up their first Gold Fury.
I mean, they don't have the Lightning Storm to be able to help confirm that one, and Mort's going to be the first one pulled. Forced to use that Watery Grave, but the Detonate from Cardiac going to be able to secure the first kill, and SirBomberMan nowhere to go. Use that snipe, but nothing to gain of it. Osath's going to pick him up.
Giggle, though, he's going to be the next victim. Cardiac finding a double kill, but finally finding the rotation. Sanford Soccer setting up the snipes from MandoWarrior, so at least finding one in return, but by finding the snipes onto the jungler, you're not able to use those snipes trying to steal that important Gold Fury.
Tarrant County gonna be able to extend their lead to the tune of about 3,800 gold now, and now this is the lead that they want to start getting. They've got the experience lead. This is what they want, especially in that duo lane.
Tarrant County doing a great job in that last encounter. This is the point where they're starting to group up, and they're starting to force the issue here, getting a lot of these levels and the gold lead. All players can now get their second relics here. Zeus, level 13, still hasn't gone for one quite yet, but has a lot of damage potential between that Pen Boots and the Bancroft's Talon.
And with saying that, however, on the opposite side, Mortbklyn not level 12 yet, only sitting at level 10 on this Kuzenbo, so he doesn't have access to another big teamfight relic. And when his shell on cooldown, if Tarrant County looks to aggress again when their ultimates come online, there's not going to be any major defense for Stony Brook.
It's a very important shell, though, if you look at the composition from Tarrant County. Between the Suns and the Lightning Storm coming out of Cardiac, that's a lot of damage mitigated potentially, whereas the Meditation wouldn't provide you the same kind of effective health in return.
Yeah. Right now, mid lane, just a grouping up of two. puckm's going to try and find a path into here, but Sam spots him out, and that's just going to make sure he pushes back. With all the disadvantages that Stony Brook has, Sam is still ahead of his opposition.
Sanford Soccer doing a great job in the jungle role, but despite that advantage for Stony Brook in the jungle, there's always disadvantages elsewhere that you have to lean on if you're Tarrant County to exploit. So pucmm purposely sacrificed himself to allow the rest of his teammates to find the opportunities elsewhere.
We're going to throw out the fireworks, but over in the mid-camp, Sam doing what he can, but pucmm going to be able to jump away from the Fear No Evil, and that's going to be the death of Sanford Soccer. Nowhere to go. Mort's going to shove him out of the way, and SirBomberMan's not going to be able to connect that snipe and forces out the Watery Grave from the Kuzenbo.
And DayToRemeber making the rotation, catches SirBomberMan out of position. Cardiac with another kill, finding his third one of the game. Everyone here from Tarrant County looking to siege this tier 1 mid tower.
And that's the difference of playing the Hoonbots online versus on LAN, is you're able to hear that audio cue a lot easier and a lot quicker, so he was able to jump away from that one. And with that big team fighting ultimate out of the way, there was just nothing that Stony Brook could do.
The very important timing. Mortbklyn, though, having to get caught under the tier 2 tower. DayToRemeber credited with that one. Diving in the backline still is going to be the Hu-Yi player of Eagles Rally. Not going to be enough. Diving even the Phoenix just to secure the delayed deicide.
The knock up into the Suns, not going to be able to do too much. Now the deicide here is Mando is going to elect to split push over in the duo lane. Try and alleviate a little bit of the bleeding that's going on, but it's 500 gold versus 2,003 kills.
Well, as long as Tarrant County doesn't get the Fire Giant here, Stony Brook are still looking like they're going to be in a good spot. Sanford Soccer has some opportunities available to himself with that Fear No Evil, but maybe caught a little bit too out of position, not able to really follow up as puckm's ultimate is not available. But either way, Sanford Soccer really has to invest his ultimate at the key moment. Despite not finding that kill onto pucm earlier on, able to disengage, he was able to create a little bit of a distraction.
We can already see a massive difference just looking at the player damage charts. Last game, pucm was at the bottom. He was one of the 2 or 3 lowest members, and now he's sitting at the top of the damage charts for his team.
Able to bounce back mentally is a great sign for this jungler. Even able to basically look at this, what happened to Sanford Soccer here. Despite pucm not being there, it's all up to DayToRemeber. All the credit has been done, all the work from pucm earlier on, and now it's up to basically DayToRemeber to clean up.
Yeah. Now looking to get this rotation onto Giggle. It's going to force him to dash away. The great route from Dingodile is going to force out the Eagles rally, and that's a big team fight ultimate out of the way.
Gathered up in the right-hand side. Gold Fury is still down for another minute. Tier 1 looking mighty juicy for Tarrant County. It's going to go down very quickly. Around the backhand side, though, is Nike.
Now Osath's going to jump into him. He's going to force out the very early watery grave, but Mort's got nowhere to go, and the detonate from Cardiac going to be able to take him down. That's his 3rd spill of the game on this Kuzenbo.
Despite not having a lot of damage in the player damage charts, a lot of damage available after that Spear of Desolation has been complete. This is where Cardiac is truly going to shine.
That was a very fast purification by Sanford Soccer. Was about to be pulled in by puckm's Awilix there, but able to use those beats to make sure he can get out of it. And now this tier 2 tower in the soul lane looking even juicier than that tier 1 tower, and now that is going to fall. Tarrant County further extending their lead to 9,000 gold.
MandoWarrior doing a lot of damage though on this ROM, having the Ikaval finished, still working on potentially what looks to be either Executioner or the Chin size, trying to hold on to the right side. Phoenix feeling very ambitious. Tarrant County still not able to really find much. In the mid lane, Sanford Soccer tried to push down that tier 1 mid tower, having to back to try to defend the Phoenix instead.
Now, unfortunately, the minions are not going to be enough to take it down, so it's going to be sitting at the tiniest of HP into that mid lane. All you got to do is walk over and sneeze onto it. You'll be able to drop that one down anytime you want.
Not going to be an issue for Stony Brook finding the 500 gold in that mid lane whenever they want to, but going to be an issue trying to defend this Gold Fury. Second one here attempted by Tarrant County, level 18 on DayToRemeber, and recognizing the Stony Brook, they're just going to head to the right side instead.
Yeah, nobody's on that side of the map. They're just going to go ahead and let that one go their way, extending their lead to 11,000 gold. They're grouped up around this Fire Giant, but they just don't have the damage to be able to take it down.
Not quite yet. Finishing off the Executioner, level 16 ROM on MandoWarrior could potentially look to start things up, but it wasn't much of a window to give them the opportunity to complete it. Even with Khepri right around the corner, you can basically find a route onto whoever's getting focus fired by the Fire Giant. You're looking to find the knockup, get off a lot of damage, and maybe even finding an abduct just to stop the DPS from MandoWarrior.
I mean, it's just all coming down to the level differential. You can see 13,000 experience in favor of Tarrant County, and really the only ones keeping pace are the mid and the jungle for Stony Brook. Sam able to keep right on par with pucm, but at the moment, it's not doing enough for them.
Not quite yet. MandoWarrior, though, could be caught in an awkward position. He's forced to roll into backwards, finding the ultimate. The nice little ricochet off of DayToRemeber, caught in between a rock and a hard place is MandoWarrior.
And the snipe not going to connect from SirBomberMan, so he's forced to run, knocked up by Osath. Going to continue to chase onto it, force that purification beads. The beam just throws some damage. Sam's going to see what he can do. A great 4-man Fear No Evil, but the meditation is just too good. Caught in the lightning storm is Giggle, knocked up and taken down. DayToRemeber is going to pick up the solo laner.
You know it's not a good time for you whenever you have to use that Eagles rally defensively. DayToRemeber has just been using them dive bombs non-stop offensively, and this is the DayToRemeber last week that I remember, just making that huge 7-2 run with the rest of his teammates on Oxygen Supremacy.
And now they're looking to take down this Fire Giant already at half HP, and nobody from Stony Brook is anywhere close to being able to get this one. 21-minute Fire Giant, and like last time, this might be the nail in the coffin.
SirBomberMan getting chased down. He knows he's dead. He's not moving, and to be able to bounce back between Game 1 and Game 2 for Tarrant County, you can tell this is quite the contending team.
The light is going to burn on this Raw, and nowhere for him to go onto that one. As you said, he got caught out, and he knew, I got nothing. There's 4 members surrounding me. I'm just going to accept it.
Even using the Aegis there, a little bit unnecessary, maybe thought he could, but once you recognize that, oh, okay, it's more than just one person, there's no hope for me here. Right side and mid Phoenix looking to be pressured by Tarrant County with the Fire Giant buff.
And Mort just hitting this level 12 has elected to go into the meditation as well. Giggle picking up the meditation for his team, so they are trying to match out the sustain. Sam gonna be able to push down that tier 2 tower in the dual lane, but the Phoenix is being aggressed on.
Great job from Tarrant County, taking advantage of this Fire Giant squad, and with the left side that was pushed out from Sanford Soccer, you know, they get a little bit of gold in return, but looking at the tools from Sanford Soccer, that Fear No Evil could easily find its home onto the defense, but left side, still not done yet. Sanford Soccer trying to find a Phoenix.
They're going to be able to stop Dingodile from backing here, but 2 were able to make it back. Sam going to try and push down this Phoenix. Doesn't quite have enough damage for it at the time, and he is going to fall. So unfortunately, they lose 2 Phoenixes and Sam.
Great defense by the side of Tarrant County. The Fear No Evil was used trying to secure that objective, but pucmm using the purification beads, not going to deter himself from finding the important in-hands to kill this Hunbat's jungler.
I mean, Sam's just not been able to really do anything for his team, sitting at 0-2 right now. While he hasn't been dying, he just hasn't been able to perform for his team. The Fear No Evils have all been defensively. The first big offensive one that he got, yeah, they got the kill onto Cardiac, but outside of that, when he used it onto pucmm in that mid camp, that was kind of the turning point.
You know, sometimes I look at things and I think to myself, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Stony Brook, they banned away their own Sylvanas, and then they first picked the Hunbats, and I'm looking at the Hunbats from Sanford Soccer, and it just hasn't been the same kind of impact compared to the Thorn the first game.
No, it really hasn't. At the same time, this Kuzenbo has not been effective at all. Mort has not been able to do anything for his team on it, not get any good pushes, not get into any good ultimates for it either. They've all been defensively. Sam's going to do what he can. He is going to be able to get a kill for pucmm, try and help out his team just a little bit, but it's too big of a deficit, 15,000 gold.
A little bit of a silver lining for Sanford Soccer, you know, finding a kill onto the other jungler is going to maybe give him a slight edge heading into Game 3 mentally, but I'm sure Tarrant County doesn't really care about that one. They're just worried about the picks and bans for Game number 3, because Tarrant County, they're going to find the second one and force the third.
Titan is going to fall here. It's just going to be too much damage for Stony Brook to be able to hold off. And for the first time in the Gauntlet stages, we're going to be seeing a Game 3 from any team.
Well, both teams came into this set undefeated, and now both teams have been defeated. Going into that third game, Tarrant County able to bounce back after that important first game victory from Stony Brook. And both of the tales of between these teams, it seems like one team has dominated the first, second one's been dominated by the other. You can tell, like, despite it being so lopsided, it was just a good job being able to come back by Tarrant County.
Yeah, and it's really going to come down to the picks and bans yet again. This Hunbots did not work for them. The Kuzenbo did not work for Stony Brook, and I don't think those were the calls that you said. They took away the Sylvanas. They had option for first pick on. I think they favored the Hunbots just a little too much.
Well, they're going to have some time to think it over for both of these teams. We're going to be taking a quick 5-minute break, guys, but don't go anywhere. We got the last game here for the AVGL Finals.